Judea is one of the lesser-known Roman provinces. But over the last few months, a wandering preacher has been causing quite a stir. Loved and loathed in equal measure, tonight in an exclusive report, we ask 5 eyewitnesses, who is Jesus?
Absolutely. So my name is Benjamin. I'm from Gaul, which is in the north of the Roman Empire.
And what do you do?
Well, I guess for the last 3 years, I have been on something of a journey. I spent the time traveling throughout the empire and outside the empire, in fact, trying to find myself, trying to find my inner self, that it's a part of us that we share with God. So I've spoken to many people over that time and experienced many things, and I'm still on that journey.
What exactly does that involve?
Well, it means talking, seeing I've spoken to various holy men and holy women, trying to find that sense of calm and peace and tranquility that exists within all of us, but we only just need to reach out and find a way to unlock. That's for me is what God is.
How did you meet Jesus?
Well, like I said, I've been traveling and learning from many people. And I came into these parts of the world and everyone was talking about this Jesus. And I wanted to see for myself who he was. And it's quite amazing. I was there when bread and fish were transformed, and although there were 4,000 people there, everyone had something to eat. I never quite seen anything like it. I kept some of the bread and the fish and I carried it around in a small box because it means something. There's something amazing.
So are you one of his disciples?
No, I would not say I'm one of his disciples. I find the whole concept of discipleship or following someone or committing oneself to a person or an ideal somewhat restrictive. I would say I'm the vessel in which a number of people have poured their wisdom into me.
Who is Jesus for you?
I would say he's something. He's a holy man. Something of Jean the Baptist. In fact, Jean the Baptist was the person who drew me to this part of the world. Some years ago, I went out to see him on the River Jordan. It was a powerful experience. But there's something about both men which, although I can see they're holy, but there's something about them that is disruptive. It disrupts my peace and my calm. My philosophy is to live and let live, but these men seem to court argument and dissension. It's almost as if they know what they think is right, where God is to be found, and it really has to be their way or the I way. It's almost as if all of what we do in our lives matters. For me, God is found in our hearts. When we search for this, we will find God. But listening to Jesus and to Jean the Baptist, it's almost as if it's what we do that counts, the lives we live as well as our hearts. It's about our society. For me, I find that a very restrictive concept, and it's not for me at all. It's not what I resonate with, and I listen to those who resonate with me and take into account what they say. So Jesus, well, I don't know. I'm undecided. I think I shall ponder and consider and then hear from someone else, I think.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello and welcome.
Hello, yes, thank you.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yes, I can. My name is Joseph. I am a Pharisee in the town of Magadan. But really, that's what people call me. I really like to see myself as the spiritual leader of the community. Someone who people look to, who point them to God and help to show them how God requires us to behave.
And how do you know Jesus?
Yes, Jesus, we've all heard of him over the last few months and years. He's been around the place, coming and going. He seems to do a lot of coming and going, never seems to be in one place for very long. He was in Magadan recently. He'd just come down from Tyre and Sidon.
I'm sorry, where were they?
They're in Phoenicia, which is Gentile territory, as I'm sure you're viewers are aware. And I mean, frankly, I don't know what he was doing there. I mean, no self-respecting Jew would go up there. Certainly not go to show them or preach to them or do anything of the sort. He goes around talking about being God's renewed people, and then he goes off to talk to Gentiles about it. I mean, I don't have time for that. I know many of my colleagues don't as well. And so I guess this is why when he came to Magadan, we approached him and asked him to give us a sign, something to prove that he was from God. Because, I mean, while some people have been convinced for a while, many of us have doubted it as well, had serious doubts and serious questions over his credibility. And when we asked him for a sign, he refused. Gave us some nonsense about Jonah or the weather, but just absolutely would not give us a sign to prove that he was from God.
I'm sorry, hadn't he just fed 4,000 people? That's quite a sign.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think that counts at all, actually. I mean, really, that's just a rumour. We've got no credible evidence that even happened. And even if it did, it'll take more than a picnic to convince us that he is in any way credible as someone who has been sent from God.
So who do you say Jesus is yourself?
Frankly, I would say he's a troublemaker. Someone who does the community no good, the people no good, and really we can do seeing the back of him as soon as possible.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome to the
Hello.
program.
Yeah.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Reuben. I'm a market trader from the town of Caesarea Philippi in Galilee, and I trade a whole host of different foodstuffs. Fish is my main business. Got a great catch in the other day. I could do a good deal actually. If you're interested after this,
Maybe
not. But yeah, trade all sorts of food in the market.
How do you know Jesus?
Well, we'll see quite a lot of him. He comes through every so often with his disciples. I mean, they always cause a bit of a stir. It's always news when Jesus comes into town. You never really know what he's going to do next.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, all these stories, aren't there? I mean, not just stories, people you know whose lives have been changed by him. I mean, my uncle had terrible leprosy for many years. Terrible thing, and he goes to see Jesus, and he comes back clean as a whistle. I mean, he won't say exactly what happened. Apparently, Jesus told him not to tell anyone, but it's pretty obvious, and it's not the only person that's happened to. These things just seem to happen when Jesus is around. Some of the things he says, well, I don't understand them all to be sure, but he certainly has the number of these Pharisees, has them foaming at the mouth sometimes. I mean, I don't like those Pharisees. I find them quite uptight. Religious so-and-sos, really. But just Jesus, he's like a breath of fresh air. Someone, well, as far as I know, he gets really to the heart of what God is all about.
So are you one of his followers?
Oh, no, I'm not one of his followers, by no means. It's not really my game, that religious kind of thing. I'm a practical man. Got my market stall, but I just...
But you did say he's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, well, he is, yeah. Very good for the religious establishment too, I reckon. I like that, but it's not my bag. Religious stuff's not my bag. It just doesn't have a lot to do with me, really. I just like him showing it to those in authority.
So who do you say Jesus is?
Well, I'd say he's like some of those prophets that we learn about when I was in synagogue when I was little, or named Elijah or Jeremiah. Yeah, they showed it to those who were in charge of them and stuck it to them. I like that. I reckon Jesus has got that spirit within him. He's like a prophet, isn't he? He goes around and he tells people what's what, and I like that. So he's welcome to come down to my store anytime he wants for a pair of free kippers. I'll do him a great deal if he wants more. In fact, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time.
Very much.
Welcome to the program. Could you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Ananias Bar Kochba.
And you're a Sadducee.
Well, that's how I'm commonly known, yes.
But you're one of the religious ruling elite.
If you say so, they're your words, not mine, but yes.
Well, how do you know Jesus?
Well, I wouldn't say I knew him, except that I'd been given the job and the responsibility, if you like, of coming down here from Jerusalem and taking the temperature on what's been happening. I mean, we've heard rumours in Jerusalem about some of the disturbances that this man has caused. And so we really wanted a first-hand account of him. And so I was dispatched down here to find out.
And you went and asked him for a sign.
Yes.
What did he say exactly?
What he said is really irrelevant. I'm certainly not going to divulge it to you. No, certainly not going to go into national television and tell you the findings of my inquiry before I've even told my colleagues. No.
I mean, Jesus has had some pretty strong things to say about the Sadducees.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, the Sadducees are known for their power and influence, and Jesus has criticized them, as well as some of your theological viewpoints.
No, I really think we should end the interview here. I'm not really comfortable with this line of inquiry at all.
One last question: who do you think Jesus is?
No, I'm not going to divulge the findings of my inquiry at this stage. No. Can we wrap this up? Actually,
I think we've got a bit more time.
No. Thank you, no.
Hello and welcome.
Hello. Yep.
Would you mind beginning by telling us who you are?
Yep, my name is Simon. Well, it was Simon. Most people know me as Peter these days, actually.
And you're one of Jesus.
Peter will be fine.
One of Jesus' followers, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm one of his disciples. I've been following Jesus for about a year now.
And who do you say that Jesus is?
Well, for me, I think he is he's the one. He's the Christ. The God's long-promised Messiah, who we've been waiting for all these years. The one who we've been expecting and hoping for. I think this is Jesus.
Is that right?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, I know he doesn't look a lot like the Messiah.
Well, you can say that again. Isn't the Messiah supposed to be all successful?
Yeah, but you've got to get to know him. You've got to be with him. That's what I mean. That's what being a disciple is all about. You've got to watch and learn and hope that you know God more through someone, and then go out and do the same kind of thing that he's been doing. That's what Jesus has done with us. He sent us out. We've watched him and we learned from him, and then we were sent out to do the same, and to see God work through us, just as God's working through Jesus. I mean, it's not just the 12 of us, It's not just 12 disciples. It's a whole bunch of us. It can be anyone, all sorts of people. Being a disciple is really about who you put your trust in, whose example are you going to follow in the whole of your life, not just in a bit of it. It's about the things you do, as well as the stuff that you believe.
Thanks for the sales pitch, but how did you come to the conclusion? Was it the miracles that persuaded you he was the Messiah?
Yeah, I suppose, but not really. It's more of a yes and no thing.
Yes and no.
Yeah. So miracles. We've all seen these amazing things that Jesus has done, and all. But they just sort of happen. It's like you're just around him and they happen naturally with Jesus. They aren't tricks. He isn't performing things. They're just what God is doing. He does these amazing things through Jesus. And well, for me, they talk about who he is, and so is what he says, and the things that he does and the way he is with people. He talks about being God's people in a way that I've never heard anyone talk about it before. Not that I understand everything that he says, but there's just something about him. It's kind of like an authority. He has an authority from God, but at the same time is this incredible friendship that he offers to everyone, like randomers that he's met or people he's been with a long time. And he's someone who won't let you down, and who you wouldn't want to let down either. And so I guess it just seems that his life is anointed somehow, that God's hand is right on his life, and that God is doing something amazing with him, that we're seeing the start of it now, but one day we're going to see it all and come to this amazing conclusion, because God is doing something incredible with it. I think that's what it means for me. That's what it means to be anointed by God, to be the Messiah, is to be the person who God is using to save his people. And we're seeing little bits of it now, but we're going to see a whole lot more of it soon. Who do you think he is?
Me?
Yeah.
It's not for me to say.
Well, it is. I think it's a question not just for some of us, but for all of us. Who do you think Jesus is? What does he mean for you? What part does he play in your life, in the whole of your life?
Well, I suppose I don't know. Maybe we should end it there. Simon, I
All right.
mean, Peter, thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time.